So everybody knows that there are two different types of M4s inside of Counter-Strike 2. We have the M4A1-S and we have the M4A4. Today, I want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages for each of the weapons and when you should be using each one. But before we get into that, I have a message from the sponsor of today's video. SkinSwap is the sponsor of today's video. They are also kind enough to sponsor you with a free bonus by clicking on the link in the description. SkinSwap is the ultimate place for Counter-Strike 2 and Rust skins with a massive trading inventory in a top tier marketplace offering the most competitive rates out there. The best part is that you can earn an insane 40% deposit bonus when you use the link in the description. Combine that with the top of the line selling feature, including multiple different cash out methods, and their trading feature, which takes under a minute, and there is absolutely no reason to not sign up with the link in the description. All right. So now that we got the message of the sponsor out of the way, let's talk about these M4s. So first, let's talk about the A1S. And the A1S is a very good gun, and it's very effective because it is so cheap. It is only $2,900, making it an effective rifle to buy and extremely cheap as far as CT side rifles go. If you compare that with the M4A4, it is $3,100, meaning it is more expensive, and that's going to add up over the game having to drop it and buy it so many times. It's going to hurt your economy a lot more. Now, the drawback to the A1S is that it only has 20 bullets and the rate of fire can be a little bit slow, right? But it is a complete laser beam. So the low ammo does make it kind of harder, especially on eco rounds and you know, when they're running around and you're going to be missing more because you're going to not be able to multi-frag as fast, right? As fast and as much, right? There's been so many times where the other team is running at me as like 4 people or 5 people and I have the A1S, and it's just like impossible to get all 5. You have to be really smart with your positioning with the A1S and just be a very sneaky player, because the biggest advantage to having this gun is that it's silenced. It can be very hard to hear where you're getting shot from when the other team is using this, right? So keep in mind that you have the element of surprise when you're using this gun, and you can sneak around here and be a very grimy player, which, you know, a lot of you guys like to do. Other than that, a disadvantage to this gun is that it has a long barrel, meaning that when you're holding angles, you have to be careful because your gun will stick out. Like my gun is sticking out right here. They could see me from connector even though I'm not even peeking at all. Same thing with like triple. They could see my gun sticking out right here, right here. So just keep in mind that you have a long barrel when you're using this gun, because if not, you're going to look like a complete noob when you're playing with it. But, you know, let's go ahead and talk about the A4 real quick, the M4A4. Now, this option is not something that you should equip on your rifle, you know, equipment slots, because if you're opping, because it's just so expensive. If you're an opper, I would almost exclusively recommend using the M4A1S and just throw on the scout in this area. You don't have to play with the scout, but that's what most people do. Now let's talk about the M4A4. So this gun, it does not have a long barrel, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just the first thing. But the biggest advantage to the M4A4 is that it has 30 bullets. Now these 30 bullets are going to be so effective for you, and it's the complete opposite with the A1S. Those 10 extra bullets are going to allow you to get those aces, to get those 4Ks instead of having to reload, right? That's 10 extra bullets where you're going to get that last guy instead of him running you down with the Tech 9 and just absolutely destroying you. So that is one of the greatest advantages to this gun, is the magazine size. Now, like I said earlier, it is more expensive, so it is a little bit of a bummer that it costs so much, because it's just, you know, it doesn't seem like a lot in the moment, but when you're buying it round after round or dropping it to teammates, that adds up so much, and it's the difference between you being able to get a flashbang and a piece of equipment and not being able to. So with the M4A4 though, also a disadvantage is that it is loud, so you're not going to be able to have these sneaky plays where you're hiding in a corner and they're all running past you and you can just start picking them off. No, this gun, you're going to want to play, you know, angles where you can just be here and swivel around and be a turret and just literally destroy them as they're running out. So don't think you're going to be sneaky with the A4, because it's just not going to happen. Also, an advantage is it does have a lot of bullets in the reserve as well. With the A1S, you could run out of bullets a lot, but with this, you have 120 total bullets. So you're most likely not going to be able to run out, right? So let me briefly go back to the A1S though, because one of the greatest advantages of the silencer is actually with these smokes, right? So when the T-sides are throwing smokes, it's so good because look, the A1S does not show tracers. Now you're seeing these like red and blue ones, but that's just because I'm in a custom server, but there's no like light coming out of it, right? And so from the T's perspective, Sorry, my keyboard just disconnected there. From the T's perspective, they don't see these tracers that are coming out, right? You see them, it's kind of hard because Mirage is so late. It's so bright and it's hard to see them, but there's these tracers that come out and they're not going to be able to see that when you have the A1S, right? When you have the A4, they will be able to see it. So when smokes drop, it's very good with the A1S to spam through these smokes and be really sneaky because it's going to be harder for them to see where the bullets are coming from. Now, don't get me wrong, in CS2, you can 100% see the openings in the smoke, so you have an idea of where they're shooting from, but you know, it's just a little bit harder, which is an advantage. So like I said, the A1S I would say is for sneakier players or for oppers that want to keep their economy in check so that they can get the op up more, and you know, when they're dropping their teammates, they're not wasting that money. The A4 is for the more entries, the louder players, the players who are going to take risks here, like walking in ramp. I said entry. I know it's a CT side weapon, but I mean like players who are going to be taking this space and taking these gunfights. It's really for you. The A1S is going to be for those players that want to play more back, want to spam the opponent through smokes, and you know, be more sneaky and ratty. So those are two different playstyles you can use. If you're a rifler, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just flip on all the rifles here. That way you have all of them. That's what a lot of people do. For opping, usually I have the op, the AUG, the scout, the SG, and the A1S and the FAMAS. That's usually my loadout for opping. So you can just keep that in mind when you're playing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm finally getting better from being sick, but we're still posting videos every single day. We're not missing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all later. Peace out.